Good afternoon, a warm welcome to Nosey Road for this afternoon's Super League Round 12 clash between the Saints and the Salford Reds. You with Micron Video, thanks for joining us. We bring you all the action. My name's Ron Hoof, I hope you'll enjoy the game. The Salford side out on the pitch already, looking to obviously double up a great win that they had last week by 1 point. The old trusty boot of Mark Lee, the ex-Saints player. 11-10 win against the Bradford Bulls. Saints went down by 1 point at Sheffield, 18 points to 17. A pretty lacklustre display by the Saints standards, considering there was 11 points up. So the Saints, let's see if they can bounce back. Welcome to one and all in the sponsors' boxes, in the boardroom, and anywhere that's receiving our broadcast. McEwen's Lager with Peter Lawson, ICF Lift Truck Services Ian Fairhurst, Hewlett Packard, Terry Hargrove, St Helens Electrical Supplies, Derek Heyman, Alan Rowe. Welcome to you all. We do have a couple of boxes available for hire, so if you know anybody that wants a box here to watch some scintillating rugby here at Nosey Road, just let us know, we'll fix you up. The Salford Reds, 7th place in the league, coached by Andy Gregory. 13 for this afternoon, Gary Broadbrent, Nathan McAvoy, Scott Naylor, Scott Martin, Darren Rogers, Mark Lee and Josh White. Just break off, here come the Saints. Led out by Chris Joint and the match day mascots, 2 lady mascots for today. Giving us a wave there. Emma Ratcliffe on the right, age 14, she attends Rainford High. The hobbies are watching the Saints on the computers and music. And her favourites are Sean Long, Kieran Cunningham and Anthony Sullivan. And Dawn Urch, she was the one on the left, but she's now on the right as they go off. She attends Ashurst County Primary. Her hobbies are watching the Saints and swimming, and her favourites are Sean Long, Anthony Sullivan and Tommy Martin. The rest of the Salford side, Paul Southern, Malcolm Alker and Lucchini Savelio in the front row, Paul Farber, Craig Randall and David Hume the back three, with Eccles, Essenay for Milo, Mike Neal and Paul Heighton on the bench. The Saints, Paul Aitchison at fullback, 2 Smiths, Tony Stewart in for the injured Paul Newlove out with the groin strain, Anthony Sullivan, the Welsh flyer, 10 tries in the to his credit this season. Sean Long and Bobby Gold in the half-back pairing, with Brett Goldsmith, Kieran Cunningham, Apollo Perolini in the front row, Chris Joint, Paul Sculthorpe, Tommy Martin at loose forward, with Carl Hammond, Ian Pickervance, Paul Davidson and Andy Haig on the bench. Tommy Martin gets us underway. Salford with the first touch. My Salford counterpart, Steve Ramsbottom, not appeared yet. He's usually late on parade. We'll have his bottom slap for that, but he might like it. But anyway, Salford have the possession. Saints know they've got to get back in winning ways. Obviously not to put 3 winning matches together this season in Super League. Acting half-back, Malcolm Alker. Back to White for the kick downfield. Sits up nicely for Paul Aitchison. He takes the first tackle. And Saints are just short of the halfway line. Blindside ploy, Sean Long. Paul Farber, one of the tacklers in there. Craig Randall, the other man. Goldspink releases it there to Chris Smith. And Chris Smith, oh, well, that looked a little nasty. High tackle on Chris Smith as he went through there. His head went back. Your referee is Colin Morris, billed from Huddersfield, ex of St Helens. And it's a couple of years since Colin Morris has been here. Let's hope he has a fine game. But Brett Goldspink, strong running from this big prop. In negotiations to keep the big man here. Contract's due shortly. Tommy Martin. Oh, superb Martin. Drives it through. The last tackle now. Can the Saints put it into points? Sculthorpe takes the tackle. That's the turnover. Saints offering the power play there. And Salford come up with the tackle to stop the Saints. Round 12 this week. away next week against the Pie Eaters. 2 games against the Pie Eaters with a 3-week gap as the Super League goes on the road and we go to Swansea. But Josh White has possession for the Salford Reds. Strong running, Scott Naylor. And once again, Randall drives through. Good bullocking run from Randall. Last one of the sequence for the Reds now. Let's see what they have up the sleeve. Back to Josh White. Positional kicking. Well taken by Aitchison. Sits up nicely for him. Let's see the big fella can squeeze through. Scott Martin comes in to tackle him, but he makes an extra 5 metres, does Aitchison. Sullivan relieving the forwards. Just needs that half break. There's no support. Chris Smith was coming up. Bobby Golding. Sculthorpe. Saints moving it over to the left. No left wing man with Sullivan coming over here. And the Saints move it to the right. Goldspink again. Martin! Lovely ball from Goldspink to Martin. Golding changes the point of attack. Now it's Sculthorpe. Twist. Turns. Lovely ball there to Chris Joyce. Inside. Andy Haig on there. Well, Haig was down with an injury. The ball coming over here to the right. Well, Andy Haig down with an injury. Haig must have started in the centre. They actually gave us Tony Stewart as starting in the centre. So I think we'll have to amend our team sheets. Haig there, took a knock going through, but some lovely touches by the Saints in the early minutes. Paul Davidson's warming up down here, looking to be introduced. Well, Jeanette Smith over there, she's saying that Andy Haig will have to be helped off. He's got a limp off. He's going to be staying behind the sticks, and Paul Davidson comes on. 4 minutes gone. So an early setback to the Saints' plans. But as I say, we was given as Tony Stewart in at the centre and Haig on the bench, but it was Haig that started, and Tony Stewart will be on the bench. But Haig's gone off, Davidson's on, and I tell you, he's a fair turn of pace there as Davidson. You wouldn't back against him in clear distance, clear field. The Reds have the possession. Mark Lee in the standoff position, offering the ball. Forber takes it up, now it's with White. Well, good goal, unlucky there. The Saints knock the ball back. Darren Rogers takes it, well, took that ball high and it just seemed to stun him. White with the possession, straight into the hands of Sullivan. Let's see the Welsh flyer can round his man. Oh, that's great tackling on the far side by the Reds. Davidson from acting half. Once again the Saints with Bobby Golding. Goldspink. Colin Morris lining the Salford Reds up. Saints are moving it over to the right. Sean Long looking for the runner. Sculthorpe! A big hole. Saints are lining up. The first try on the board for Sean Long. Super play by the Saints. 6 minutes gone. And Saints open the scoring. They threatened to do it from the kick-off. Saints exploited the gap. Goldspink driving it up, but then it was moved over to the right. And good work by Paul Sculthorpe. Went through a gap, backing up the man with the ball as they should have been earlier on. Took it up, and they had an abundance of players on his left. Slipped it to Sean Long, over for his 8th, I think that is, of the season. Yes, it is. And Bobby Golding from right in front of the sticks. Saints 6, the Reds yet to score.
Sponsored by Micron Video and the
along there, sponsored by your own Micron Video, that bring you the action throughout the season, suppliers of all the footage to the Sky TV company, and we bring you all the action on the match days here at the Saints. But 6 points to nil up. The Salford Reds have the possession. Andy Gregory obviously a bit G'ing his side up. He knows what they're capable of. They ended a 5-match losing run against Bradford when they won 11 points to 10. Josh White onto Randall. Tommy Martin stops his progress. Joint and Perolini finish him off.
A goal time after that try, 5 minutes and 58
Last
seconds.
tackle of this sequence. Mark Lee grubbers it down the popular side stand here. It finds touch about 8 metres from the Saints line. The scrum will be formed 20 metres in and 10 metres from the Saints line. And a few Salford spectators moving down and obviously assembled in the Eddington stand. They have a little problem with geographical items, do Salford. They keep calling us Scousers. I suppose if we called them Mancunians, they'd go mad, wouldn't they? Because I suppose it's a city on its own, Salford. But Saints have the possession, and that's good tackling, isn't it? Broadbent in there, one of the tacklers. And Saints struggling a little bit on the second tackle to get out of the area. Now it's Perolini. Joint. Davidson puts it down. Salford pick it up. Advantage will be played. Quick break by the Saints there, didn't come off. The ball going down. Now it's Josh White. Saw the gap. The ball's reaped out again. It comes back. Is the tackle count waved clean? It isn't. The referee said it wasn't reaped out. Randall, the man that's driving forward. Olker attacked in half-back. Once again into passing. Loose play. Well, Saints couldn't take advantage there. Unlucky Damien Smith. Juggle with the ball. If he just could have got away there, Chris Smith was on his right, and he may have heard down this wing. He'd have had 80-90 metres to go. First knock on. Scrum with head and feed to the Saints. Aitchison, first man in. Down to the back of the scrum. Obviously Saints looking to first league double in the second part of Super League 3 season. 11 matches played. We're on the home straight now kind of style. I know we do have 23 games this season with that one on the road, which does count for league points. As Cunningham scampers away. Oh, attracts a lot of attention, does Cunningham. Once again, Martin chips it over. Broadbent, took it well. And he scampers away, does Broadbent. Nathan McAvoy for the Reds. Now it's Forbert, veteran campaigner Forbert. 11 seasons here at Saints, around about there anyway. Had problems with a neck injury, but played on. Well, loose play there. The Reds try to squeeze it out. Damien Smith there. Now it's Chris Smith. He has to take the tackle. He tried to offer Rogers the touch line. But Saints again. Move it quickly. Look sharp, the Saints today, don't they? I bet they'll have been given the rounds of the kitchen by Sean McRae after last week's defeat. Martin trying to use Davidson as the foil. Well, he's give crossing, but I don't think the Saints actually crossed there. They definitely used Davidson as the dummy runner. But obviously the referee says he did, and if he says he did, he did.
Will Max Wolseley please go to the old players entry? Max Wolseley to the old players entry, please.
Josh White wriggling his way through. Fine day, a bit of breeze, should be nice for playing down there. White again, takes up the acting half-back. As Olker, the hooker there that took the tackle. A youngster that's making his way through the senior team. Well, that was a bad pass, but well picked up. And the pass certainly did look forward. The referee looked over at the touch judge. He's got the nod there. Colin Morris. It was just held by a couple of hundred speckies below us. Impartial Saint speckies, just same as myself. Gold into feed. We've had 12 minutes gone. It's 6-0 in the Saints' favour as Long puts it to Damien Smith. Bit of mauling at the play of the ball. Sculthorpe moves it to the right. Apollo Perolini. The big man drives within 25 metres of the Salford line. Martin and Golding into passing. Now it's with Aitchison. He comes over to the right. Aitchison again. Damien Smith. Salford just laying off the Saints there. Another injury. Damien Smith gets up very sheepishly. Long, Goldspink, Long. So both Saints centres having early injuries. Bobby Golding. Bullet past. Oh, lovely handling. Yeah, super stuff. Great try over there. Anthony Sullivan gets his 11th of the season. 13 minutes gone. Saints 10, Salford 0.
Saints try scored by number 5, Anthony Sullivan.
Quick hands there as Saints have brought it over here. Damien Smith took an injury. Then from the acting half-back position, the ball was moved over to the left. Long and Martin into passing. 10-0 and Golding to convert. As Golding comes in, oh, it looks good. Waved away though by the touch judges. There was some power behind that, wasn't there? 10-0 to the Saints. Sevilio going to be substituted by Essany for Milo. And 14 minutes gone. So Saints 10 points to 0 up, and we mustn't do the same as we did last week, must we? 11-0 up last time, and then just seemed to ease off somehow. Forber always gives his all, does Forber, and both Forber and Mark Lee were sounded out by Graham West, the ex-Wigan coach, at witness to see if they could... Well, that wasn't reaped out at all, Mr. Morris. It was tried, that was tried to be released, that ball. David Hume tried to squeeze it out, and he was very fortunate to get a penalty there. Obviously just the angle that Mr. Morris was at. But there we go. Paul Southern drives it up. Southern still gets the ball away. The tackle must have been completed. Scrum down, head and feet to the Saints. Well, that'll atone for that mistake. Well, I thought it was a mistake anyway earlier on, so it'll be Saints head and feed. Damien Smith, all right, back to full fitness. Goal into feed. 10-0 the score. 16 minutes gone. Davidson once again drives it in. The Reds line up, but it's Aitchison. Well, Forber with a high tackle. Saints play on. The Sculthorpe, and Forber putting himself about a bit. As you'd expect, still lives around the St Helens area. Chris Joint, the captain, leads by example. Long scampers away. Perolini can't take it. It's going to be brought back for the knock-on. And Temper's getting frayed over there. Sean Long and David Hume just exchanging pleasantries. Reds head and feed. White out to the back of the scrum. Saints certainly look as though they got the bit between the teeth in these early minutes. Rattled up the 10 points. The tackling looks good. Scott Martin tries to scamper away, quickly dispatched to the earth. Wolfspink and Cunningham. Now it's Paul Farber. Well, the ball's loose. Saints have been penalised again for reaping the ball out. Unsighted on that occasion. From 40 metres from the Saints line, White finds touch. A further 20 metres forward, Alker onto Southern. Alker again attacked in half-back. Now it's for Milo. Powerful block busting forward is SNA for Milo. Many seasons at witness. White, Lee, Randall. The Reds are pressing. They're still to open up their account. Mark Lee. The Reds are keeping it going. Sits. Paul Sculthorpe drops on that loose ball. Damien Smith comes away. 30 metres away from his own line. Now it's Chris Smith. These typical block-busting runs. Well, Mark Lee spoke out a turn. Paul Farber as well. And David Hume, the captain. And Colin Morris just letting him know he's the man in charge. Penalty to the Saints, and Golding finds touch. Cunningham to restart. Perolini up to the 20-metre line. Saints in the lead, 10 points to 0. Halfway through the first half. Sean Long inside ball to Chris Joint. Back to Bobby Golding. Golding sees the gap. Golding strikes again. He's 5 metres short. Saints are looking rampant. The Terminator, Perolini goes over. Hasta la vista, you Reds. The Terminator strikes. The big Western Samoan powers over. Great work by the Saints. They were awarded the penalty here as Paul Farber, Mark Lee and Uncle Tom Cobley spoke out a turn. Touch was found, and from the resulting play, great interpassing by the Saints, resulting in Perolini taking the ball and powering over 8 metres in from this popular side touchline. And Golding composing himself, looking to tag the extra 2 on, see if he can get his eye in. Oh, that looks good, that, yes. Superbly flighted ball by Bobby Golding. I think that's a blood bin substitution there with Eccles. It looks as though he's held the card up there. Eccles for Southern. Great goal by Golding. Brings the score now. 16 points to the Saints. The Salford Reds yet to score. Saints to kick off. Andy Gregory, he'll be doing his notes. Obviously he's banned from the touchline, was Andy Gregory. He's from his candid comments on this and telling referee Steve Ganson. Farber fluffs it in the in-goal area. Goldspink pats him on the back. The Reds will have to drop out from between the sticks, and it certainly looks as though they're going to be on the end of a good hammering this afternoon. Early days yet, but the signs are looking good. Perolini juggles with it, and Perolini drives it again. All part of the act, that. Aitchison on the drop-off ball. Well, Farber again coming in enthusiastically. Always like to put an extra bit in against a farmer club, don't you? But he's going to have to watch it. Oh, interception there, Josh White. Saints are going to cover him. Sullivan's coming across. White beat. Oh, well, didn't they make a actually knocked the ball on, but the referee said it was all right. So Sullivan recovers there, and Saints are on the attack. Cunningham within 25 metres of the Salford line. Chris Joint up the centre. 8 metres short and attacking. The Saints look rampant. Superb work, Martin. Inside ball to Perellini again. The big man within a whisker of scoring his second. Well, he's knocked it forward, the referee says. Certainly with the firepower in the Saints ranks, you wouldn't have bet on Josh White going all the way. He didn't. But he sidestepped inside. Anthony Sullivan, who was coming back, put the ball inside. Salford put it down. Sullivan picked it up and he was away. And Saints coming within a whisker, as I said, but just put down and the ball knocked forward, says Mr. Morris. Darren Rogers from Josh White at the base of the scrum. Mark Lee, he feeds it on. And Scott Naylor's not going very far. Saints are urged to get back on side. Essendon for Milo, looking for support, nobody with him. Cunningham scrags him, puts him to the earth. Pitch in fine condition. Credit to the groundsman, Neil Holding. Always nice here at Knowsley Road. Now it's forward. Last one of the sequence. Salford in possession. The ball to White, puts it downfield. Sullivan will let it go into touch. Be scrummed down, let him feed to the Saints. I say Andy Gregory will be in the stand. Banished after an outburst on Steve Ganson. Outspoken and emotional. Gregory just gets deeply involved with the game as it goes on, just as I do, and obviously after some of the things I said last week at Sheffield, if I've caused any offence to anybody concerned here at St Helens, I do apologise unreservedly. So please accept my apology. Things were said just on the spur of the moment and emotionally, and obviously on a lot of things that I don't know anything about. So please, if I've offended anybody, and I have, I can tell you, please accept my unreserved apology. Saints on the charge again. Cunningham over to this right flank. Well, there was nothing in that, but the ball knocked back. Old Pelzak, two Tatuitas there, Cunningham and Farber. Inside ball from Aitchison to Davidson. The big man, 28 metres from the Salford line. 25 minutes gone, 16-0 the score. Interference at the play of the ball. Scott Naylor pleading his innocence. Saints move it with Long, offering the opposite diagonal. The drop-off ball on the other angle, but just putting it down. Randall for the Reds. Cliff Eccles, powerful forward Eccles, had a good game in the return fixture, the opening fixture of the season, wasn't it, when the Saints went to the Willows. That was a close game, 18-14, and Farber again, releases the ball to Randall, looking for support, he is again, nobody's with him. Alker, the live wire hooker. We certainly have a breed of live wire hookers in our game in these seasons. Well, White puts it down, took his eye off the ball, obviously tried to control it and wanted to get the kick away, and it's a turnover. Chris Joint, the leader of the pack, up to the halfway line. Once again the Saints full of running and Goldspink. Martin was with him, he just couldn't squeeze it out, could Goldspink. Sculthorpe ducks under a challenge there from Eccles. And Saints move it left. Short ball to Davidson, looks suspicious from our angle. The referee says it's all right. And you don't expect any Saints players, Saints spectators to comment. Cunningham for the corner, slips it to Sullivan, just steps into touch. The idea was right, the quickness of Kieran Cunningham. But Anthony Sullivan just putting a foot into touch there. Ian Pickerman's going to be introduced. Goldspink the man, probably a blood bin substitution that. Yes, look at the gash on the right-hand side of Goldspink's head. But Pickerman's capable substitute. Tough as teak, this Aussie Goldspink.
Said substitution. Ian Pickerman's on for Brett Goldspink.
Cliff Eccles running the ball up, looking for support again, is Eccles. Nobody with him. For Milo. Good tackle initially. Now it's with Olker. Along the line, Mark Lee, Paul Farber. Farber again, back to Lee. Inside ball to Hume, and Hume scampers away. Aitchison wrapped him up. Salford quickly up. I mean, Hume, he must be about 33, 34, but he's an evergreen character, isn't he? Once again, over to this side. Scott Martin wrestled towards the touchline. Mark Lee offers the ball to Farber, has to take the tackle. Farber and Smith, Damien Smith just embrace. And Salford play it quickly. Alker again scampers away. Salford bring it to the short side. And the ball's knocked dead. Plan move there by the Salford pack. Chris Smith, I think it was, that knocked it dead. He did well there. Sean Long and Damien Smith embrace him. But a kick through there for Darren Rogers. A plan ploy by the Reds. 30 minutes of the game gone. 16, Salford 0. Martin with a deep kick. 60-metre dropout taken by Gary Broadbent. Down at the first attempt, Sculthorpe and Long. Short side for Paul Farber. For Milo. Powerful forward, no support with him. Saints do bring him down. Mark Lee changes the point of attack, gives it to Josh White. White back to Milo. No room over there. There's Nathan McAvoy. Well, thought there was no room, but he did well and scampered through there, did McAvoy. Saints urge to get back on side as the Salford Reds move it over to the left. Lee, inside ball, Naylor, they keep it going, it's Randall. Well, that would have been a forward pass anyway, so nearly me. Aitchison tidies up at the back there, a risky pass by the Saints in their own 10-metre area, but it came off for them, and now it's Sculthorpe. Out last week with an injured breastbone. Impick, 20 metres out. 16-0 the score. Sullivan, so nearly in for his second. Minutes ago. Chris Joint offers the ball to Davidson as the dummy runner takes the tackle, comes back inside, and the Saints look rampant again as Golding puts it down to this bottom corner. Chris Smith's chasing. Salford are going to have to knock it dead, and Broadbent does. Super work by the Saints there. They could see Salford were all up, pressing up in the attack, or in the defence, obviously, but pressing up on the Saints attack. And Golding put it downfield, and Chris Smith heard down this right flank. Gary Broadbent had to chip it dead. 7th place Salford, won 4, lost 7. As I said, he ended a 5-match losing run with that defeat against the current Super League champions, the Bradford Bulls. 11 points to 10. And we know what Mark Lee's capabilities are. Can never disregard him near the line, near the posts. But it's the Saints that are pressing. Golding moves it to the left. Long, good running. Aitchison linking up. Cunningham once again. The Saints move it over to the right. Tommy Martin twisting, turning, puts it back to Perellini. He unloads it to Paul Aitchison. Aitchison to Chris Smith. Smith sees a gap and Smith's going for it. Super stuff. Chris Smith will come nearly behind the sticks. Great try by the Saints. The Saints' fourth try in 33 minutes. Didn't look anything on there really, as the Saints had offered the ball left and right, and then moved it back. Perellini looked as though he was going to make the line. If he'd have run straight, he took the tackle, and it was a tackle too. He's receiving some treatment there, and then the ball came back to Chris Smith. He saw that little chink, the gap in the Salford defence. He took his chance, went for it, stepped out of the tackle, the attempted tackle, and touchdown for the Saints. Fourth four-pointer. His 56th try of the season. Makes the Saints 20 points to nil, and Bobby Golding from a good angle here. Golding converts it. 22-0.
And converted by number 7, Bobby Golding.
They certainly look on fire this afternoon, the Saints. Consistency is what we need. Paul Heighton coming on for David Hume. He's there at the back of the sticks, he's David Hume. The board just going up, the fourth official now letting the substitution take place, I think. Well, he must have to be over this side. The substitution allowed to take place now as David Hume comes off. Good campaigner, Hume, good leader. Well, he must have took a knock for Andy Gregory to bring him off. Forward taken by Perellini and then pushed further back. Pickavance in and Sculthorpe. Five minutes to the interval. Saints 22. Salford Reds yet to score. Alker onto Familo. As the Reds move it over to that right side, and then Familo forced back. Some solid tackling there. Tommy Martin and Bobby Golding leading the onslaught. Saints defence looks sharp. The Reds just temporarily cutting through there. Sculthorpe scrags his man. Scott Naylor was the man. Mark Lee puts it downfield. Tactical kicking from Lee. Used at the standoff today. Binatuka and at scrum half. Play anywhere, Mark Lee. Certainly a credit to our game. A lot of these players that have been here and around for lots and lots of seasons. John Long sees that gap in. Scott Sullivan with him. Long scoots through. Well, the tackle wasn't completed. The referee said you've got to play the ball. Oh, dear me. Saints recover. Davidson picks it up. Long hid well there, drew the defence in. Looks as though Sullivan was going to loop round him, but he just couldn't squeeze it out. But Cunningham again. Oh, look at the strength. Pushes the man off. Mark Lee pushes him back there. Tommy Martin. Good ball to Sculthorpe. Head down, drives it in. 20 metres from the Reds line. Last tackle of the sequence for the Saints. Pickavance chips for the corner. Too much beef on it. Well, no. Rogers has to play it. And Rogers comes out to the in-goal area. And he's forced back. Oh, that's great tackling. Super tackling there. Just couldn't take him back. Over the line, took him back to the line, and Broadbent tries to scamper away. Cliff Eccles. the Reds there. They need a bit of encouraging at half-time, and I'm sure Andy Gregory will give it them. Randall, three-man tackle by the Saints. Bring him to earth. But well drilled this afternoon, does the Saints side, and Forber, he's taken down the last one of the sequence. The Reds in possession. White takes it well, finds touch just short of the Saints 20. So Paul Newlove out with a groin injury. He should be fit for next week's game against the old Pie Eaters at Central Park. 6:35 kick-off. Paul Aitchison comes through, a big hit by Randall. Now it's joint. Can the Saints score before the half-time interval? Oh, Panalini, head tackle by Forber, and I think he's going to walk for that. He's been told to be quiet, but he's dragging him up. But that was a bad tackle. I think he could be getting the early bath for that. I mean, give him his due. Panalini, he's got up. But that was, he's just going to warn him, I think. Dear me, we've seen referee Morris send players off for less than that before, but he's having a talk to him. That was a bad one. But a chance for Bobby Golding to get another 2 points. The big man, Panalini, was driving it through. Forber has been very involved. You can't fault his commitment. And referee Morris, he's bringing the players back. Paul Forber's saying that's 10 metres, that's a 10-metre line. It's not actually, but Bobby Golding gets the 2 points. Two points from the trusty boot of Golding, 24-0.
Number 7, Bobby Golding.
Is the score.
And the time of that one, 38 minutes and 30 seconds. Keep looking on those scratch cards.
24 points to 0, and Salford can thank the lucky stars really that they're not down to 12 men. I'm sure that'll be a warning. There's Josh White. He caught that ball. He's holding his head there. Obviously a clash with his head. Alka has been asked to take the ball away as Josh White's going to be treated. Forber gets shut of the ball to Cliff Eccles. Panalini in for the tackle. Mark Lee for Milo used as the dummy runner. 1.5 minutes of added time been played so far. Broadbent slips it inside, good work by the Reds, and Randall going for the line. Well, beats quite a few players there. He should have gone on his own, I think. He slipped the ball in. Davidson came in with a tackle, and it's Heighton over on the far side. There's the half-time hooter, with Salford putting on one of the most spirited attacks of the game. A great breakthrough there on this side by Broadbent. Slipped it inside to Randall, and he beat about 3 or 4 men. And I thought he should have gone, but he didn't. And put the ball inside and to Heighton, and he was tackled. Well, there we go. 24 points to 0, the half-time score. A 6-minute try from Sean Long, goal by Golding. Then a spectacular Sullivan try. Golding couldn't convert it. Panalini, a short-range block-busting try from the big Western Samoan in the 19th minute, and then that Chris Smith, where he just saw that little chink, went for it. That was goal by Golding, and with just a minute or so to go, Golding with a penalty conversion after a high tackle by Paul Forber. Half-time here at Northey Road. Saints 24, Salford Reds 0. Welcome back for the second half. Super League round 12, Super League 3, game 12. Hope you're all enjoying it in the sponsors' boxes and all round the ground. 24 points to nil the score in favour of your Super Saints. And contrary to all reports, there's been a draw at half time and I didn't win a sausage. I mean, everybody, with having such an unusual name as mine, Hoof, every time I get my name up for something, you'd think I've won it every week. Well, I wish I could win it every week, and it'd be one in the eye for you lot, wouldn't it? If you want to join the Saints Lottery, don't forget, you've got to be in it to win it. Get in there, get your name down, pay your £1 or a couple of £, and you've a chance, haven't you? Away we go, second half. Salford to kick off, Perolini the man that's driving it through. Andy Gregory will give a superb team talk at half time. I would imagine he'll want more commitment from his side. We know they can do it. As we know that Sean McRae will have, even though he'll have picked the bad points out from the Saints, obviously has the good points. We know that the Saints can do it as well, but we're just not consistent enough. We've got to string it together, week by week, consistently. And we'll have to do it next week against the Pie Eaters, won't we? Top of the tree, the Pie Eaters, they're getting up there again. We'll have to knock them down. Bad pass there. Golding puts boot to ball. Rogers puts it inside. Broadbent has it. Rogers again from acting half. Powerful wing three-quarter is Rogers. And he needs half a break. Ulker at dummy half. I think that's Heighton, the man that has the possession now. White offering the ball for Milo. Upended there, just 30 metres from the Saints line. The Reds again, moving it left. Mark Lee, the speculator to Farber. Good linking pass there from Randall. Quick hands there by the Reds. Now it's with White. Very quiet yet, just waiting to burst through as Farber, he bursts through. It's the last tackle of the sequence. And White's going to put it high to this corner. Directly touching goal. Sullivan and Broadbent vying for the ball there, and McAvoy as well. I think it's McAvoy anyway. Yes, it certainly was. Broadbent appealing that the ball had gone in off a Saints player. Fell on deaf ears. But Perolini drives up, attracts 3 and 4 Reds players. Very slow getting off him. Cunningham puts the ball out. Rogers has it. Chris Smith is chasing him. Smith closes him down. Support by the Reds. Saints looking very lax. Rogers again puts it inside to White. White along the line. Heighton. Drop off ball there to Scott Naylor. Naylor for the line. Big, powerful, strong centre. He's held up on his back. Salford will have head and feed from a 10-metre scrum. The attacking side there get the feed from the scrum. When held up over the line. Well, certainly the Saints looking to explode, but they certainly haven't done in these early minutes. 2 minutes gone. 3 minutes gone now. Broadbent, inside drop-off ball. No way through there. Scott Martin. Ulker attacked in half. Inside to Familo. Familo straightens up, twists, turns, drives for the line. I'm sure Sean McRae will have impressed on his side that, well, the try's there, I think. Ulker in for the try. I think it's the young hooker that's got it. I was just going to say, I'm sure Sean McRae will have impressed on his side about keeping a clean sheet, but it wasn't to be. Malcolm Ulker with a try, a typical hooker's poaching try. 4 minutes gone in the second half, and Salford Reds with the first points of this afternoon's game. So there, the Salford Reds start off well in this second half. Plundered a try there at short range. Came perilously close on a couple of occasions before that. Yeah, Josh White with the conversion attempt. Just can't get it to sit up. Not a lot of breeze round the arena, but... Well... yeah. So White now looking to tag the extras on. Well, fell off again. Somebody are going to have to position it. So probably about the third or fourth attempt, Josh White puts it between the uprights. Saints 24, Salford Red 6. Good try in the end there. McAvoy, and that came close over here. The ball was kicked through. Then Scott Naylor came perilously close, but from the resulting play of the ball, Alker took it well and plundered a try just to the left of the sticks. Perolini takes it from the restart. Blindside ploy. Chris Smith going again. Well, Farber had another swing at him. Dearie me. Sculthorpe. Joint used as the dummy runner. It comes to Ian Pickavance. Cunningham releases the ball to Martin. To Bobby Golding, puts it crossfield. Well, did swirl back there. Broadbent gets it. Gives it to McAvoy. Paul Heighton. Cliff Eccles over on that far side, up to the halfway line. Good drive by Eccles. For Milo, releases the ball to Randall. Look very sharp as Randall. The ball kicked through there, well taken by Chris Smith, and he tries to scamper away. Good tactical move there, as the Reds obviously got the bit between the teeth. For Milo comes off and Savelio comes back on. Carrying a knee injury is for Milo. Anthony Sullivan. He got a leg injury last week at Sheffield. And Perolini carts the ball up. Sculthorpe. Salford urged to line up with referee Morris. Now it's Joint coming through at pace. Last one of the sequence. Bobby Golding rounds his man. Golding again. Puts a reverse angle. High kick for Sullivan to chase. McAvoy takes it. Sullivan completes the tackle. Great work from the Welshman. Did well there. And a great take by McAvoy, wasn't it? Took it well under pressure. Broadbent the man in possession. Alker the try scorer at dummy half. Savelio the man that's just come back on for Milo. The Reds there in the lead on the scoreboard in the second half. 6 points to 0. The score 24 points to 6 though in favour of the Saints. And Paul Farber again. White puts the ball downfield to the main stand side. 20 metres from the Saints line. Good prodding kick there. Warrington at home tonight to the league leaders, well, second place Leeds. And Salford are at home to Warrington next Sunday. 3 o'clock kick-off, I think that is. As I said, Saints at Central Park. Sean Long offers the ball, rounds the man, has to take the tackle. Davidson, big burst from the big man. Bobby Golding, Sculthorpe, Farber in again, a big hit on Sculthorpe. Martin over the top to Chris Joynt, just couldn't evade Paul Heighton's tackle. Martin again, grubbers it downfield. Broadbent plays it with his legs, rounds Anthony Sullivan this time. Lovely ball there inside to McAvoy. Good run by the Reds, 20-30 metres. Alkert, the hooker. Heighton. The Reds in possession. Certainly the game's not as exciting as the first half up to now, with Scott Naylor driving the ball up 25 metres out from the Saints line. White. Savelio strikes again to Savelio, drives it forward. Last one of the sequence. Saints with an injured man, it's with White. Salford running the power play. Mark Lee chips it for the corner. Tommy Martin played it, and Martin's up this flank here. Lovely ball to Sullivan. Well, that's it. Saints steam away. Heighton won't catch him. Sullivan in for his second. Super work by the Saints. But the touch judge is on down here. Is the referee going to allow the try? There's obviously an infringement down here. It's Mark Lee that's down and been fouled, has he? I don't know. Tommy chipped the ball through, and Tommy Martin picked it up, slipped it away in acres of space, and drew a lovely time pass for Sullivan. And the Welsh flyer went all the way, didn't he? So Chris Smith and Mark Lee just exchanging pleasantries. The referee and the touch judge certainly having something to say, whether it must have been an off-the-ball incident. The try hasn't been given, as far as we know. The goal spin can pick advance. The blood bin reversal. The try's ruled out. What a great try that would have been. And in the end, it's a penalty to the Salford Reds. Must have been an off-the-ball incident. White kicks it backwards. Savelio, the first man in. He twists and turns, he gets through too, but Saints regroup with goal spin back on, and the Reds now playing it quickly. Well, that looked like an obstruction. The ball comes back. Now it's with Farber. Carolini turns him over. Sculthorpe was underneath. Alker puts it over the top to White. Inside ball to Heighton. Heighton stretches for the line. Leave up. Ball over the top. Broadbent. Bounce to the earth. Not Broadbent, I beg your pardon. Randall bounce to the earth. But Davidson with a try saver there. The last one of the sequence. The Reds Moving it left, Mark Lee, a speculator out on the far side. Last one of the sequence. Broadbent tries to chip it through. Chris Smith's away. Finally put to the earth. Cunningham, well, impeding there at the play of the ball. He's reaching for his pocket, is he, the referee? No, he's given a knock on. I thought there was an infringement, but obviously not. Certainly didn't look lined up correctly at the play of the ball. But the referee right on the job. Head and feed to the Reds. 15 minutes of the second half gone as White. Broadbent taken down by Sean Long. Quick play the ball urged by the referee. McAvoy. Holker attacked in half. The Reds move it to the left. Savelio. Certainly drives it forward to Savelio. Then he's pushed back. The Reds try again. Mark Lee offering the opposite running angle. Now it's with Paul Heighton. Ducks under one tackle. Heighton again. Aitchison and Perolini bring him to earth. Alker, White, speculated to the left. Scott Naylor now to Rogers. Rogers within 5 metres of the line. Last one of the sequence. The ball back for White for the high kick. Aitchison makes sure the ball was knocked back by a Saints player, but Aitchison made sure it was in his own in-goal area. Puts more pressure on the Saints, and it's certainly been all Salford pressure, hasn't it, in the last 10 minutes or so. ...50-metre dropout taken by McAvoy. The Reds build up again. Broadbent, Forber clattered by Perolini. The referee shouts held, and Forber cabbages a yard. Doesn't please the crowd. Josh White in nowhere, no man's land there. He's going nowhere. Malcolm Alker, this young live wire hooker, 20 metres from the Saints line. Saints 24, Salford 6. Naylor trying to squeeze it out. Last one of the sequence. The Reds, which way will they move it? Over to the right. A reverse angle kick taken by Rogers. Well, he took it well, planned move, put the ball back, but it's a turnover. He tried to let it go there, tried to squeeze it out, and the Saints have their hands on the football for the first time for a few minutes. Cunningham, Sculthorpe breaks the tackle. Sculthorpe drives again. Savelio with a big hit. Hume back on. Saints move it to the left. Sean Long there. Davidson was with him. Tommy Martin at dummy half, and Martin takes up the running. Lovely reverse pass there to Joint. Joint again! The captain turns it inside. Bobby Golding takes it. Saints are in for a try. Golding jumps with delight. And I'm sure quite a lot of the spectators do as well, as Saints finally get their act together in the second half. Bobby Golding's second try of the season. He did well there. He put that down to sheer persistence by the Saints there. Tommy Martin again. Lovely sleight of hand pass to Chris Joint. The captain took it up. He broke through a couple of tackles. Looked as though he was going to be brought down. And then a lovely pass into the right with Bobby Golding in support. And the former Saints captain goes over for the 4-pointer. 30 points to 6 when he pops this one over. Just about my distance, that. Golding converts. Saints 30, Salford 6. So the Saints get on the scoreboard. 18 minutes in this second half gone. That's in the second half, of course, having built up a commanding 24 points to 0 lead at half-time. Now have that 24-point gap restored. 30 points to 6 to score. That's after sustaining about 10 minutes of pressure by the Reds there. Saints it back, some good running. Savelio now drives it up. Randall has run tirelessly all afternoon as Randall. Big, powerful second rower. Didn't play last week in that defeat of Bradford. Paul Palmer didn't either. Well, wasn't in the starting lineup anyway. Let's say the starting 13. Josh White puts it out to McAvoy. Well, that's in on the full. Poor kick there by McAvoy. And Salford losing the way there. Good tackling by Kieran Cunningham. And Saints spread it quickly. Good hands there. Long took it cleverly. Now it's with Damien Smith. Smith with the power play. Smith driving for the line. Slips it to Chris Smith. Oh, super stuff. Chris Smith in for his second try. Super try by the Saints. Smith and Smith combine. And a Salford player down injured here. Centre field, and he doesn't look in a very well state either.
Saints try scorer number 14, Chris Smith.
So a lot of concern for this Salford player there as the doctor comes on and the backroom staff. But a scintillating move, running move by the Saints there as they moved the ball over to the right flank. Damien Smith came through at pace and he showed a fair turn of pace. We waited a long time to see this big former St George centre burst onto the scene, really. He burst through there. Chris Smith was with him. Damien Smith took the tackle. I think it must have been one of the tackles that player there put in on Damien Smith. And Chris Smith finished it off with his second of the afternoon. Golding converts it, 36-6. Hammond on for Paul Sculthorpe.
Saints substitution, Carl Hammond comes on for Paul Sculthorpe.
And the Salford player Broadbent, I think it is, the full-back. It's given us a blood bin substitution, but he doesn't look well at all, does he? The man being led off over there. So Mike Neal on for Paul Broadbent.
Salford substitution, Gary Broadbent comes off. So Mike Neal comes off.
Mike Neal for Gary Broadbent. Do beg your pardon if I got that wrong. As a blood bin substitution, Martin kicks off. Carl Hammond on for the Saints for Paul Sculthorpe. And Farber over there again. Certainly runs tirelessly. They've got a few Dad's Army in the side as the Reds, but the experience, it's probably known as the Saints faithful cry for a forward pass. Play allowed to go on, and good work there from David Hume. Mark Lee in possession, brought down just short of the halfway line. White inside ball. Hume again, tireless worker, evergreen competitor. Chris Joynt holds him down to the nth degree. They both get up laughing, having probably exchanged a few pleasantries. Alka for the Reds charging. Mark Lee puts it over the top. Aitchison lets it, watches it run, touching goal. 20-metre restart for the Saints. 36-6 to score. 18 minutes of the game left. Martin to Davidson. Oh, well, Josh White, dearie me. Come on, touch judge. Yes, he's coming on. Josh White went back in for a second bite of the cherry. The big Cumbrian Davidson coming. Hey, I tell you, you wouldn't argue with Davidson, would you? Built like a brick outhouse. And if he says it's Tuesday, I'll tell you it's Tuesday. But White, he pushed White out of the way there. And he came back in for a second bite of the cherry. And Saints win the penalty. Golding along the line there, Sean Long. Perolini uses the dummy runner, now he's with Hammond. Goldspink, the big man driving into the line. Super try by Goldspink. Well, that's a rasper, isn't it? That's sheer class and sheer pace. And Goldspink's first try for the Saints. He'll remember that for a long time, won't he? Lovely move by the Saints. They moved it over to the right. Hammond involved in that move. Hammond involved in that move. I think it was him that slipped it to Goldspink, and the big man was coming through at pace, and there's nobody going to stop him, was there? They got him near the line, but his power took him over. Great try. Cheers all round as the Saints finally get into gear in this second half. The third try in the space of 8 minutes. Golding, Chris Smith and Brett Goldspink. What a try, and this is a hallmark of this man's power, his game, and he's burst onto the scene there. He's come close, perilously close before, but finally getting over the whitewash there. Bobby Golding converts it. $42 points to 6. Super stuff. And Saints back into the swing. But there again, once we get a good win, and we was brought down to earth with a bang last week at Sheffield, the pie eaters won't do us any favours, will they? We've got to give them some stick next week on their own midding as well. Couple of pie eaters here on the camera crew, they are laughing. They'll be laughing next week with a bit of luck. Can't beat a bit of friendly rivalry. There's a prophecy for you. They'll put 40 on us next week. Yeah. They'll all be in the Douglas when we beat you. White with the restart, having put the ball out on the full from the restart. Ulker for the Reds. Strong running, Savelio. Driving through at pace, Savelio going for the line. Good run from this man, big, powerful, block-busting forward. Once again, Randall, he deserves a try for his efforts. I hope he doesn't get one, but he certainly deserves one. He's been all over the ground. White, Lee, good hit there, Farber inside to Scott Naylor. Davidson covering again, Bobby Golding involved, Chris Joint the captain. But the Reds looking for the second try as Mark Lee, a former Saint, he'd enjoy scoring one, wouldn't he? As would Paul Farber. Andy Platt, the captain, ruled out injured. Now it's Randall. Saints cover up there. Last one of the sequence. Salford pressing again. It's there with White. Chips it for the corner. Too deep. Sullivan just shields it. McAvoy was coming for the touchdown. Saints restart. Perolini. Pickerman's looking to be reintroduced. But Saints have the possession. Well, Chris Joint just looking. He wants to get up quickly. Davidson. Well, they're all having... Oh, he stuck the head in there. David Hume went in with the headbutt on Davidson. He just gets up and laughs. Deary me. Pickermans for Perolini is the substitution. Damien Smith on the far flank. Smith up the wing. Support on the inside. Oh, dear me. Saints have fluffed it. It's a knock-on. A 4-pointer went to bag in there. Great work up that right flank. Damien Smith again, powering up the wing. Support on the inside, but the pass wasn't a good one, but it could have been tidied up, and Saints made a complete hash of it. Technical term, that hash. 42-6. Nice to see Broadbent back out now. He didn't look well before. He had to be led off the pitch, but he's coming round on the far side, the main stand side, to the Eddington to come round to the dugout. The Reds, well, loose pass, knock on. That's a knock on. The referee's looking. He said it's gone back. No way that went back. Finally succumbs to the pressure from the Saints spectators. Scrum down, head and feet to the Saints. Tommy Martin showed the ball, offered it. Aitchison came through. Didn't think he was going to get it. Head and feed to the Reds this time. White to Lee. Rogers. Now the Reds trying to scamper away. Sean Long drags his man to the earth. Rolls off him quickly. White, Forber. Forber being forced back. The tackle not completed. It is now. Players just getting a little tangled there. Pick of Anson Forber. Well, holding down is the indication given. Both bodies were tangled there with forcing the man back. Pick of the man penalised. And White finds touch 20 metres from the Saints line. Two missed moves. Now with Mark Lee. Heighton turns the ball inside to Lee. Now to Rogers. Rogers again. Aitchison brings him to earth. Alker from the acting half-back position, trying to plunder another. Bobby Golding wants a little bit more support there. Now to Josh White, inside ball. The ball still loose. Scott Martin couldn't take it. Is the ball over the line? The referee's not happy with it. He's gone over to the touch judge on the main stand side. No. Well, it was Randall there that went over. Your cameraman that's got a better view of than us, obviously looking down that high-powered lens, reckons it was a try, but the referee and the touch judge consult, and they say it wasn't. Head and feed to the Saints from the scrum. You can have a look at that again and see what you think. It'll not make any difference. Still doesn't count. Joint comes through. Well, not before time. Not before time, Mr. Morris. Chris Joint fouled by David Hume. Saints with the penalty. Ian Pickavance. Tony Stewart on now, with 6 minutes to go, maybe a little more. Bobby Golding, short ball there to Chris Joint. Good run by Goldspink. Pickavance used as the diagonal runner. Now it's with Long. Tommy Martin. The ball back to Long. It's gone back, says referee Morris. Well, it's not gone back. The referee said it's a knock on. My word, it was slow there. Aitchison, the man replaced. Tony Stewart on. Damien Smith to full back. Salford head and feed. Just 6 points to the credit for this afternoon's effort. 42 to the Saints. 5 minutes on my watch, 7 minutes on the clock, the scoreboard clock. You have a little stoppage time for a couple of injuries. But it's Mark Lee. Well taken by Ian Pickervance there. And the ball comes out and Malcolm Olker comes up with it. Just losing his footing. Good work there, Scott Naylor. Great run as the Reds make 50 metres upfield. Darren Rogers inside now, it's with Mark Lee. Oh, that was a forward pass, dear me. Dear me, Randall, can he squeeze over? The referee, is he giving it this time? Well, he's given the try, Randall. He should have had one earlier.
Salford try scorer number 19, Craig.
Nothing more than the lad deserves. Randall, a great try. He's had a good game. He's been all over this arena. Even though there perhaps should have had one earlier. Your cameraman reckons he had a good view and it was a try. It was disallowed. But there in the build-up to there was a blatant forward pass. But full marks for the effort. And they carried on to the Salford Reds. And Randall went over for the 4-pointer. Great work by Randall. Good performance by the Reds. Very few attacks. They started off the second half like house on fire. And Olker went over. He plundered a try. They put Saints under siege for about 10 minutes. And then Saints come with a breakaway. And Bobby Golding scoring off Chris Joint. But there again, the Reds hit back. White with the conversion. 42-12.
And converted by number 33, Josh White. This afternoon's McEwen's Lager man of the match, selected by the press, is Saints number 14, Chris Smith.
Chris Smith, man of the match by the press here at Saints. And he's won quite a few of them since he come here, hasn't he? Certainly Damien Smith's had a good game this afternoon. He played well at Sheffield last week. Certainly looking for this bloke to explode on the scene.
6,130. Thank you all very much for coming this afternoon.
6,130, poor gate by Saints standard. Certainly need more through the turnstiles. So obviously it's up to Saints to put the rugby on the field to attract the punters through the turnstiles. And once you get them, really get it right on the field, we know it's a hard job, being consistent. Once you get it right on the field, everything falls into place. Everybody wants to be part of your Saints, everybody wants to be part of your lottery, and all round it all comes to fruition. Souvenir sales, jersey sales and everything come into it, and I'm sure the Saints will try to do that. Davidson took a knock. Martin chips it through. Rogers takes it well. And at the full back, obviously with the injury to Broadbent. And Neil slipping into the left wing. Once again the Reds with White scampering through. Chris Joint hold him down. Tommy Martin wraps him up. Now it's with Mark Lee. Chips it over the top. Damien Smith takes it in the in-goal area, gets back into the field of play. Did well. Keeps out of touch. Now Anthony Sullivan going crossfield. Sullivan looking for a space. Saw that little chink. Went through it. Gets the ball away. Goldspink drives away again. Can the big man go all the way? Good run from Goldspink. Chips it centre field. Super play. Golding takes it. Oh, what a try. What a try. Golding in for his second. Oh, watch Gobby Golding go over to Brett Goldspink. The Golden connection here at Nosey Road. Super work there again. The Saints took it out on that right flank. Brett Goldspink backing up. Took it down the wing, beat the defence, and by word, is there no end to this man's talents? Put a lovely flighted bar kick into centre field. I tell you, That's not a match winner, but that's an orgasmic try, that is. There's no danger about that. One out of the top drawer. He scored a try, his first try for the Saints as Goldspink, and he put a kick in like that there. Super stuff. He's got a knock to his ankle in the process, and he's going straight off to the dressing rooms. Pedalini's back on for him, but my word, what a try, right out of the top drawer. You could watch that again, couldn't you? And again, Golding pops it over. Another 6 for the Saints, 48 points to 12. Cameraman says we're lucky. Well, we'll have that sort of luck, won't we, regular?
Apollo Paralini comes on for Brett Goldspink.
What a try, eh? That will warm the cockles of your heart out, love, won't it? Super stuff. Faber takes it comfortably this time. 48-12. Do the Saints points average no harm, will it? Faber tries to squeeze it out. Super work by the Saints. Hammond leading the charge. I don't know whether he's still on the transfer list. I hope he's settled his difference. We need to keep players like Hammond here. We need to keep them all here, don't we, really? And build on it. David Hume. Well, the ball's loose. The referee says it's been knocked forward. Salford feel as though the ball was reaped out. Well, we've had some great tries here this afternoon. That must be the pick of them. That's one from Goldspink. There's no danger about that. Well, not from Greed, didn't score it. I mean, he scored a good one, but the one that he helped with Bobby Golding. It's Golding there in possession. Looking to unload, he does there. Moves it over on the far side. Chris Smith voted the man of the match, looking for his hat-trick. Bobby Golding holding the ball up to perfection, puts it out. McAvoy taken by Davidson. Scott Naylor. The Reds still in possession. All on the final hooter now. 2 minutes of stoppage time played. Savelio, he's run hard and tireless when he's been on the field. Gets the ball away to Alker, scorer of the first Reds try. Josh White bringing the ball across field. Knocked forward by Mark Lee. Probably have the final scrum here. That's if there's time to actually form it. Which there isn't. There's the final hooter. Final score here at Rosie Road. Salford Saints 48, Salford 12. 24-0 at half-time. In the second half, in the early minutes, it was all Salford. In the fourth minute, Alker blundered a try after some sterling work where Naylor, I think it was, that nearly went close. That put Salford in the ascendancy, and they put Saints under siege for about 10 minutes. The score was 24 points to 6 then. Then Bobby Golding went in for a try. He converted that. 30 points to 6, and Saints were well on the way there. A lovely try from Chris Smith, goal by Bobby Golding. Then a superb effort, a 20-30 metre burst from Goldspink. Golding tagged it on again. 42-6 there for the Saints, and they're well on the way, wasn't it? Then a superb try by Randall, took it well, even though the next to the last pass I think was suspicious, but a great try by Randall. He'd just been denied one earlier that we thought was a try. White goaled it, 42-12, and then just there about 2 or 3 minutes before the final hooter, great work on the far side. Goldspink heard up the main stand touchline, put a speculator in on the inside to the centre field. Lovely angle kick. Bobby Golding picked it up, went over for the 4-pointer, and that's how it ended. 48 points to 12 here at Nosey Road. Saints away next week at Wigan, 6:35 kick-off. You've been with Micron. Join us there.